Yo, so I heard a lot about this, and my kids really want to go see it, so we went to go see the Minecraft movie. Yep, Minecraft movie that came out this year. We're talking about something that's recent. Hey, something new to talk about. Let's get right to it. So the Minecraft movie, 2025 action adventure, starring Jack Black. Now I know I just did Nacho Libre, but this is not correlated at all. I just want to do this because I seen it just recently. We got Jason Momoa in there, then Emily Myers. I don't know her, but she kinda did in there. And for some reason, Jennifer Coolidge. Why is she in there? I have no idea, but she was hilarious every second that she was in there. Old boy Sebastian Hansen though, he did his thing. He was the star of the show for real, for real. Him and Jack Black went back to back for the star. But yeah, he did his thing. Let's get right into the movie though. The movie starts with a young, precocious Jack Black. Damn, that sounds hella familiar. Never mind. So, this time he's a miner and his name is Steve. Not a miner, a miner, underground digging. And his name is Steve. And all he wants to do is dig and find new stuff. But the old man Jenkins of the town doesn't want him in there because he's too small, he might get hurt. So, what does he do? He yells at him to get out of here until he's bigger, or maybe not at all. But like I said, Steve is precocious, so he doesn't stop. And as the years go on, he still wants to go in that mine and dig. Finally feeling like he's big enough to do so, he goes back to the mine where the old dude is still standing looking exactly the same. And he just crosses him up and goes inside. I'm not gonna lie, I skipped over the Office thing because I do not like Jack Black singing as much as everybody else does. It's funny, it's catchy, but you'll see why. So I guess Steve grows up to be an inventor, and as being an inventor, you need to invent stuff. So he invents Steve Land, where he makes his song and dance to go along with the invention to show off everything in Steve Land. And Steve Land is exactly what you would think it is. It's a regular resort, but everything is branded with Steve. After getting rejected and going back to his cubicle, he's through with everything. He just want to go on another adventure. And that brings us back to what I was talking about. So he starts mining for what he says is days. But in movie, it's like 2 seconds. He finds a cube and another cube, puts them together, and is now in Minecraft. And whoa, before y'all start grilling me at all, I've never seen Minecraft, like the game. I've never played it. I've never really like looked it up, never talked about it. So like seeing this world for the first time, I was in awe. Like crazy amount of like shock because like everything was cube shaped. Everything was so like CGI perfectly. And like, I was like, this is cool. World building, phenomenal. All the like artwork in there, phenomenal. The team did they work with that. But that's besides the point. So Steve sees that he can build whatever he wants. Starts building house after house until he becomes a master at it. But then he comes across a strange ruin and decides to put it back together by building it. That opens up another portal. But this portal is to a bad looking dimension with a whole bunch of pig goblin looking things and a whole bunch of like zombies. There's like some crazy stuff down there. Skeletons that come alive, man. See, I've never seen this, so this is like new to me. Oh, and Steve got a dog or a wolf. Like, I don't really talk about Doug, man. He ain't really do nothing. So they hop into the portal to see where it goes. And as I explained to you before, it goes to that dimension. And they get caught up with this pig, queen, demon, god thing. And she's like, I want that cube that you got. So hand it over. And Steve being Steve, he's like, nah. So he throws it to the dog wolf thing, and this is the only time that it's useful other than, you'll see. But he ends up throwing the cube to Doug. Doug runs out both realms and back into the human realm. And Jack Black becomes a captive? Don't matter. This is when we get introduced to Jason Momoa's character, Garbage Man. So he was like an all-time world player of like arcade games back in the day. You know the old trope and stuff like that they use in all movies about games. So yeah, he was one of those dudes, and now he just works out of an arcade place selling old stuff that he owns, by the way. So he's in debt. Now he needs to find money or get rid of the shop. But he has a real outlook on life like Hulk Hogan would or something like that. He's the type of person that will never show like how unprideful we can be because he needs to be a real man's real bro at all times. And we see that in full force when he goes down to the storage place and tries to bribe the man to give him a low bill on the storage, which actually works. But when he finds out what he wants is really not in there, he just crashes out, about to get evicted, can't get what he needs to fix his business, and on the way home, his car just breaks down on the side of the road. This is not his day. That brings us to the kid stars, Natalie and Henry. And actually Dawn too, which is the real estate advisor. She comes to show the house off. I think Emily, has to be like 18 or something, but she looks like 12. And Henry, bro, looks 7 and he has a lisp, so it makes him 5. So I don't know the like dichotomy of like how they're living there, or like their mom passed away, so it gotta be some reason, but still, that is a robbery just waiting to happen. I'm surprised this is not a horror movie instead of a kids movie. You check out the house, they like it, and fast forward to the next day. Natalie has to start her new job at a chip factory, and Henry is off to school for the first day. Before leaving, Natalie tells Henry that she made the tater tot special pizza that her mom always made them, so maybe he can make some friends at school. Before going to school, he passes by Jason Momoa's game shop, and him and the garbage man have like a conversation where he try to show him how to be cool, and he doesn't need these tater tots, so leave it with him. And I guess he got a new friend now. Little dude can draw too. He has all these inventions in his book and all that type of stuff. So when he gets to school, people kind of call him a nerd because he sees stuff differently. Like, bro thinks building a rocket is easy, like easy work. And once he got pressed by thing 1 and thing 2, he actually did it. I don't know when he had the time to do this while working at a class and stuff like that, but that's besides the point. Henry shows off his skeleton rocket that he's about to blast off in the air to the whole school. Right before he blasts off, the bullies, thing 1 and thing 2, cut a cord, and now the thing goes haywire. It goes so haywire that it flies in the air all the way to the chip factory that his sister works at and destroys the big chip on top of the factory. It's like his mascot or something, and that's like the mascot of the town, so a lot of people want answers. Now in the principal office, Henry has to call somebody, but he doesn't want to call his sister because he's gonna get in real trouble. So he called Jason Momoa, the garbage man. I'm gonna keep calling him Jason Momoa though. Jason Momoa to bail him out, and after getting his ego stroked a few times, he reluctantly did. So apparently the vice principal is Jennifer Coolidge, and her scene is exactly what you would have thought it was when she got outside to talk to the garbage man. Although she was kind of surprised to see that he was Henry's uncle, quote unquote. They get back to the game store, and Henry and garbage man start chopping it up and showing off some of Henry's art. Then they look over at the cube and see a note. So there's a note with the cube and saying whoever is to put these cubes together will get blasted off to this wonderful world where a whole bunch of treasure, diamonds, great stuff will be here. But it's dangerous, so don't come. Without any resistance, they put the cube together and open up the portal to Minecraft. Just then, the real estate advisor and his sister pop into the game store. How did they know they was there? Tracking. It's 2025. So they all get sucked into the portal, and now they're all into Minecraft. One by one dropping out of the portal, and just like me, get to see the world for the first time. Too bad it wasn't the best time to be around, because just then it turns nighttime. Ominous music starts to play, and something's about to go down. All of a sudden, a whole bunch of arrows come flying up from the air, prompting our heroes to start the running. They get split up, but while split up, Henry breaks something and finds out when you break something, you can rebuild it into whatever you want in this universe. Ends up getting everybody back together but the garbage man, and builds a big castle for them to hide up in. Once the garbage man got back with them, the all is lost moment came, where the zombies broke into the castle and everybody got surrounded by zombies. But we're like 50 minutes into the movie, so you know it couldn't have been the end. Here comes Jack Black to save the day. Steve, hitting his old man acrobatics and karate and stuff like that, beating the mess out of all these zombies, bro. He's going Jack Black crazy. Even hits a little Poe animation in there. You know you can't have Jack Black without talking about Kung Fu Panda. So he ends up saving the day and talks about how he wants the cube that the little dude is holding. He saved the day, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? They tell him how they can't get home without the cube. And then the garbage man tells him how he broke the other part of the cube. So they end up joining forces to get the other side of the cube fixed and to go home. And Jack Black just wants the cube. Steve brings the group to this peaceful pacifist village where they can like stock up on supplies, and he has a hideout over there. Once get into the hideout, they all stock up on supplies, and Steve can show off some of his cool inventions and how to make them. The garbage man ends up making some nunchucks out of like, I guess, buckets or something like that. But Henry, using his mind, puts a whole bunch of stuff on the table, and he ends up making a tater tot blaster that actually hit though. We go back to the evil pigs now, and we see Queen Melgosha. If I didn't say already, her name is Queen Melgosha. is now summoning some of her best warriors to go get that rock back. The little glowing orb, and she wants it to be all powerful and stuff. She got this dude named General Chungus, which is so nonchalant and idiotic, bro. He is funny to me. I don't know why, but he had me rolling. The time he was on screen, he had me rolling. So General Chungus takes a few people and he goes to get the orb or the rock or the cube, whatever you want to call it. Once he gets to the village, all hell breaks loose and they start the action scene. All the kids fighting, all the adults fighting, all the pigs getting beat up. But then it gets too much because then they bring in the air brigade where they start dropping bombs from the sky. So they think of a big escape plan where Jack Black gets 2 air suits, slap him on Henry's back, and slap him on Garbage Man's back, and then they have to get out of here. But he forgot to bring one more air suit for himself, so he has to jump on the Garbage Man's back just to get away in time. The destination where they all were supposed to meet is the Woodland Mansions. Since they're under attack now, they have to fly through some mountains just to lead the pigs off their trail. The pigs are in hot air balloons, so they're right behind them, shooting air balloon bombs out their mouth of the air balloon, if that makes sense. The Garbage Man and Steve have to get into some questionable positions to fit the thread the needle point of the mountain where they're about to collapse into. Because above the mountain, a whole bunch of pigs have a net up ready to catch anybody that goes through there. Once threaded a needle, Henry, Garbage Man, and Steve enter the cave, and you can see in the background that all the enemies collided with each other and exploded. The team escapes. Going back to the Queen, she doesn't like that the team escaped, like I just said. She ends up killing Big Chungus. I mean, yeah, that's messed up. That was my guy. Turns out she finally found a brain for her monster pig that she wants to put in the field now. I forgot the name of it because all it did was roar and like fight, so I call it Raw Fight. Y'all notice how I haven't been talking about Natalie or the like real estate advisor at all, right? It's because they haven't been doing anything. They're walking through the woods, just fighting off enemies, having a normal conversation. But then again, plot convenience happens for no reason because Doug pops out of the woods and now it's part of the gang. Remember Doug? He's the wolf dog thing. He also let one of those little alien things out into the real world, but that's besides the point. Nothing really happens of that. Now, he knows exactly where Steve is, so he's gonna bring the girls to Steve. Talking about Steve, we go back to Steve, Henry, and the Garbage Man walking through the cave that they're in now, and they're talking about mining diamonds. Now, I left out a little plot because I wanted to be a secret. The Garbage Man really needs money, and he came down here for diamonds. Steve finally told him where the diamonds was, so now they made this little diversion so they can go get some diamonds. But Henry surely finds out and now he's upset and want nothing to do with the Garbage Man. The big monster pig ends up finding him inside the cage and chasing him into a mining cart. And then they go on a little mine cart thing like Harry Potter, so they just like, you know, through the mines and stuff. I don't know what those green little wobbly bobbly things are that explode when you touch them, but there's a whole bunch of them down there and they lose track. So to get momentum back, they just start smacking the little wobbly blobbly things, and then that little monster starts coming in and just start bum rushing through them. And yeah, they explode through the cave and end up getting out safe and sound. And I think that big monster thing died. Now that they safe and sound, it's time for Henry to be upset because of all the gold and lies and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. It's little kid anger. I don't really care about it because I'm on the Garbage Man side, bro. I'm broke. I need the bread. I can get it right here. I'm gonna get it. So they end up patching things over, bro. It really wasn't that serious because they have to come up with a game plan to get the other side of the orb so they can get home and Jack Black can get his wolf back. Although the wolf is still free already, and he just doesn't know that. They advise a plan to sneak into this 3-level castle just to get the other part of the orb back, but it's over with so quick that I don't even really feel like I have to talk about it. Y'all clicked on this video, so I will, but it's really stupid. Jack Black loves playing with saxophones, so I knew they was gonna give him one eventually in this movie. So him and the Garbage Man has to go play distracting music while Henry climbs up to the 2nd floor and gets the artifact. Using PS2 graphic level skills, he's able to sneak past everybody and anybody that's like looking at him until the very second that he's about to open a door. Then for some reason everybody sees him. So he runs and locks his door behind him and then he can just be there for as long as he wants. The room is full of special artifacts. A whole bunch of artifacts that like, I guess could be like end game stuff. But I don't know, I've never played the game. So he ends up getting a sword, an axe, and finding the crystal. Just then this Slender Man looking thing ends up like looking him in the eye and then like try to take him on a trip down memory lane of everybody saying that they hate him or whatever. But like, Henry ain't no B. So he's like, you know what? I'ma beat your ass. And then he just beats his ass, kills him, and he gets one of those little throw orbs that like if you throw it, you go to where it's thrown at. Oh yeah, while he's doing that, Steve and the garbage man got caught. And then Steve actually became Nacho Libre in the movie. Well, the scene became Nacho Libre because Steve was tied up, but that's besides the point. And ironically, Henry was exactly on top of the ring upstairs. So he breaks a hole down and he's now in the scene. Ta-da! Mission complete, right? Now all they gotta do is get out of there. And how do you think they're gonna get out of a room full of like enemy? They just cut to them running out the door. But right outside of that, while they're running across the bridge, the queen herself comes with her minion. She's ready to put it all on the line and blow up a whole bunch of her minions just to get that cube back. So she's gonna blow up both sides of the bridge and eliminate everybody on it. Steve pulls out a gummy little pallet, throws it on the floor, knocks out one of the pigs on a hot air balloon, and hijacks the hot air balloon, saving Henry. Ends up going himself. The garbage man, on the other hand, stays back and wants to make a heroic sacrifice, even though he really doesn't have to do that. I think Henry even says, you don't have to do that. So they're off. Henry and Steve, and the garbage man took his little sacrifice. Steve and Henry ends up crash landing because I guess Steve never flew one of those things. And yeah, they wake up inside of this polka dotted house. And who did he wake up to? None other than the girls and Doug. I guess they came in handy this time, right? Now that they got both sides of the orb, I'm guessing it's time to go home, right? And there's not going to be any more problems. And the garbage man is really not dead, right? Right? I never said that the orb went with Steve and Henry. The orb was stolen by the queen, and now she's using the orb to make it always night so she can roam around all the parts of Minecraft. Now it's the final battle. The team has to go get the crystal back so they can go home and destroy the pig lady. The mission was simple. That was until she put the crystal into this little aura box and then put it into the stream. That made the crystal turn everything into darkness. Now the team has to battle zombies, skeletons, and these pig monsters just to get the crystal. They end up getting helped by the pacifist golem monsters, which are pacifists themselves, unless they're provoked, which they were by one dumb pig. And then the war was on. Henry was able to get to the tower where the crystal is, and now all he has to do is get to the top. On the flip side, Steve is fighting Morgania and getting the beats to the point that he has to throw eggs at her that turns into chickens just to get a little bit of breathing room. He ends up using the tater tot launcher that he built earlier to get him to the top with that teleport ball. And when he stands up there, I don't know why he just stands back and just watches the whole fight, because he's just starting to watch people fight instead of getting the ball, which is why it's hella unfortunate that once he actually tries, builds a little stairway up to get the magic cube that he needs, he falls. But it's all right, because Gucci Guwap, Mr. Garbage Man came to save the day. Garbage Man ends up grabbing Henry out of the air. They hit a 360, grab the orb, and the day is saved. The pigs can only be outside at night or when it's dark. So the sun comes back up, actually burning their skin and killing all the pigs, even the queen. Even though the sun was fully up, the queen had a little bit of power to like try a little bit of a sneak attack and another sneak attack and tried that third sneak attack, but was too weak. Now that the day is saved, it's time to say their goodbyes. And for some reason, Steve wants Doug to go with the realtor lady, maybe because she's good with animals. He tells them all that he's gonna stay behind because he still wants to build some things, and tells them to go home and enjoy their lives. The garbage man walks over and tells them that they will have such a cool bromance. They would be like best friends, bro. Why don't you just come live with me? We can like be rich together. We can be like bros. Still denying, they all leave. But right before the portal can close, Steve says, fuck it, and leaves. Henry's back in school. The realtor is still realtoring and doing her other side jobs. The sister, I forgot her name, Natalie, yeah, that's her name. Yeah, I think she got her job back. And Jack Black and the garbage man, they're bros. Well, yeah, that was a Minecraft movie. I liked it. I think that joint was like a 7 out of 10. Although it was kind of like childish at point, that was the point of the movie because it was for children. So yeah, I enjoyed it. My kids enjoyed it. My girl enjoyed it. Yeah, I make videos. And if you like my videos, go check out some of my other videos because I do reviews, I do gameplay, I do just chatting. I just do a lot of things. Go check out my page, man. Yeah, until next time.
I can be that nigga that they don't wanna feed. And my heart is full of hate, so I don't need no